Part 4. The land of why. Today's topic is why I had sex I did not want. The simple answer, and I could sum the whole thing up in just quite literally under a minute here, is why did I have sex that I did not want? Because I'm a woman. I was sitting here thinking about it and I went, wow, this is going to be one of those shares where, everybody says we want honesty, brutal honesty. But when it comes right down to it, we don't really want brutal honesty because it's an ego smasher, right? Sometimes. Well, in the land of being a woman, and I'm going to go out on the limb and speak for the mass majority of women here, not all, but the mass majority of women here, that quite often the sex that we women have, we don't want. Why? Why do we not want the sex? That's the question, right? Why do we choose to not want the sex? Why are we with people that we don't want sex with? And again, much like the topics of the last 3 parts of this, there's 1,000,001 reasons, okay? 1,000,001 reasons as to why somebody chooses to partake in the act of sex, the reproductive act, even get pregnant, do all these things with somebody that they don't want to be doing it with. So, the biggest thing is that we as women have a historical, generational maybe, program, for sake of better words there, belief structure. There you go. A generational, historical belief structure that is impressed upon us, whether we want to admit it or not, whether society wants to talk about it or not. And I think that society is trying to talk about it. We just don't know how to go about it very healthy in today's world, and since the whole feminist movement has come about, it's actually not worked out for women's favor there at all. In truth, it has put us women more into a masculine mindset around sex, trying to disassociate our hearts from our sex, which is the true issue around the connection that we're looking for. The reason why we want to have sex is, because we want to be seen, we want to be felt, we want to have connection, we want to feel safety, we want to be loved, we want to be valued, we want to feel good, we want to enjoy it. And we as the human race are the only creatures that have that engage in sex because of pleasure, because we want to. We don't have to do it to move our humans along anymore. We really don't. We can control how many children we have. We can do so many different things. So our reason for sex is based on pleasure. With that said, there's a hell of a lot of guilt and shame that comes up around this topic for women in general. A hell of a lot of guilt and shame. And women in general, it's one of those topics where guys can have a lot of partners, can have a lot of sex, can jump into it, and sex happens on the outside of a man's body, happens on the inside of a woman's body. A woman needs to connect to her heart to be able to open up sexually. A man needs to connect to his sex to be able to open up emotionally. Is the yin yang factor there, and just the very generalized basics of it. Everything is happening inside of the woman. So we go internal. Everything happens externally for the man. That's why men are more visual. That's why men are into voyeurism, more into watching their partner, wanting to see the show, wanting to hear, because everything is external for the man. And the woman, we tend to close our eyes. We tend to focus in on our breathing, trying to connect to our bodies, wanting contact with our partner, the heart engagement, the body-to-body engagement, the sensuality of it. And sensuality is completely different than sexuality, but good sexing comes from deep sensuality and intimacy. For a woman to really be able to feel her body, she can't be up here. She has to actually be in here. She has to feel safe. She has to feel like she can trust her partner. She needs to be able to surrender, to be vulnerable, to know that he can hold her safely in that space, and that he is desiring her, right? Because every human being wants to be desired. Helicopter. Every human being wants to be desired. Women want to be desired. That's there, and that is what is around the sex that we want. But it's not just, I want to be desired by any random bloke out there, okay? No. I want my partner, the man that I have chosen, the man that I'm in love with, the man that I'm choosing to do life with, the man that I have raising children with, dealing with finances, health, life plans, dreams, goals, all that kind of stuff. I want him to desire me, and he wants me to desire him, right? So that is that beautiful. Now, be desired by 1,000,001 people. That's not what we're talking about here. Back to the sex that the woman doesn't want. She does not want the sex that is her being used as a masturbation tool, as a quick release of stress. Drop the cortisol down, right? Get the anxiety reduced. Need a good night's sleep. I'll just jump on my girl real quick. Yeah, no. That's not what she's looking for. That's not the sex that she wants. She doesn't want that fast food variety. So why do we do it? Because the majority of couples' sexual intimacy is fast food. I'm working with thousands of couples at this point in time, over almost 2 decades of doing relationship intimacy coaching with people. People that are still in couplehood, married, dating a long period of time, living together, life partners in whatever fashion, and the singles who have been in relationship and broken up for one or more reasons, right? I can tell you that again and again, what I do hear from women is, I hardly ever have an orgasm with my partner, or I've never had an orgasm with my partner. Now we get focused, we get fixated on the word orgasm, and that it is like the be-all, do-all in relationship. How many times can I get her to come? That's a lot of men's focus is, if I go faster, harder, if I was bigger, if, then I could get her to come more. And once again, you're missing the point if that's the way you're thinking, because what she's wanting is she's wanting you to penetrate her heart. She's wanting you to be there with her. She's wanting you to go deeper with her emotionally, mentally. She's wanting you to treat her whole body as a sexual organ, not just her sexual organs. And she's wanting you to really be able to hold that space. The majority of relationships, men aren't taught this, women aren't taught that, right? We don't know. We just kind of flounder through things, bounce off the walls, and go, well, that's not working, it's his fault, it's her fault, if. And then we have this wonderful thing of porn that comes into play that we use as education, which is the fakest sex on the planet. It's not real life sex. It actually causes us to want for things that separate. It causes us to want for things that puts in massive barriers barriers in relationship. And it shows women, having orgasm, climax in all these different ways, which in truth, the majority of women would say, that's scary, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't turn me on, and the guy wants to try it out, right? Or the woman says, all right, fine, I'll do it. And here we come to why. Why do we do this? We will actually step in and we will allow things to happen to us physically, emotionally, mentally, especially physically in this category. And emotionally, we will allow things to happen to our bodies, our physical bodies, to our sexual being, that will distort us, change us, that will wound us, all with the hope that it will bring us closer to our partner. All with the hope that we will please our partner and that it will be better somewhere along the line. That if we do this, our partner will be happy. And that's why we do it. We do it for our partners. Majority of the time. Hold on, I've got to shift here. The sun is hitting me right in the face. We're going to the fence. Okay. There we go. So we do it all for, wow, it looks like I got like a humongous bright light behind me. We do it for our partners. And that does not mean that's a good thing. Okay? I'm just being challenged today. There we go. Okay. So why do we do these things for our partners? Well, because we want the relationship to work out, because we have abandonment issues, because we've been told as a female society that, we're supposed to be sexual creatures, but damn us if we're too sexual, damn us if we're not sexual enough. It's the whole, be a whore in the bedroom, but be this, perfect woman that doesn't have any, whorish tendencies, slutty tendencies outside the bedroom. So have your shit in order, look perfect, look pristine here, be Molly Mormon in the house with the kids, the kitchen, the this, the that. Hold a job as well in today's society, because you better do your part as a woman, because that's what is supposed to be, right? We are strong women. We can do it all. We used to always do it all too in different ways, but now today we even have more pressure upon ourselves, which us women have done to ourselves. Okay, so welcome the feminist movement. Like Canada has their she session going on, and they're looking for a she recovery. What about the guys up there that lost their jobs? I'm like, a recession's a recession, people. Like, come on. God bless America, Canada, our world, right? I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying God bless. Oops. So we have done this to ourselves. We've taken on all this, and we've also created a masculine of today that doesn't know any better and doesn't know how to be a masculine that is strong in their nature. And then as women, still holding true to that feminine trait, whether we want to admit it or not, where we are nurturers, we are caregivers, and we want to give to our partner. And we believe that I have to take care of him and I have to take care of me. Plenty of women out there, and the old version of me, believe this too. And I still struggle with it today. Like, it is a constant inside myself to catch myself, to say no. I can say no here. No, I'm not in the mood. No, that's not doing it for me. It's okay to speak my truth around things. Now, there's plenty of women out there that go, no, I want this, I want that, and blah, 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 blah. And I can tell you that those women are so strong and they're masculine that they are not really getting fulfilled in connection with their sex, with their partner. They are acting as a masculine would, where so they're treating it all outside their body and they're not accessing here. They're just getting a fast food quick hit of and needing more, constantly more, and they're willing to up their game. They're willing to have so many partners and do this and do that and not going to take crap from any man and blah, 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 blah. And they're the empowered woman of today's society that knows what they want and they're going to make it happen. They're also stuck firmly in their masculine energy and acting from that point. Where a woman strong in her feminine wants a man to show up for her heart and be strong. That emotional container needs to be strong. Emotional maturity, communication, respect going both ways. She wants to be able to lean on her man. She wants to be able to trust in him. She wants to be able to surrender. That's a scary word to a woman in her masculine. But a woman in her feminine actually values the masculine and wants to surrender to the masculine, okay? Which means she understands that the feminine is all over the place and the masculine is that linear that can get shit accomplished, okay? And we all have masculine and feminine traits, energies, okay, depending on how it plays out inside our personalities. But as that feminine, what are we wanting? We're wanting to really be able to open and surrender. And the reason why we prevent ourselves from doing that is because we don't trust in our partner. But we're hopeful. But we're hopeful. We want to trust in our partner, but we don't, because of, pick the list of reasons over here, right? Because relationship's difficult. Relationship has different things happen in it, and any relationship that's gone on for more than a couple months probably has revealed some stuff, right? And we have our past wounding, and then we have this generational wounding and programming, belief structure that is there too, that you can't trust men, all this different stuff. But we have to give, we have to do this, we have to always say yes, we have to always be willing, we have to just, I used to think that it was bull, that the old program, I was like, my mom never told me this, but I went to women really tell their daughters this, and in sex psychology and sexuality's work, where you're getting into the psychology of it and the understanding and the historical timelines of how our sex has evolved, what you will find is that over the course of time, and not that long ago, women would tell their daughters, on your wedding night, because we used to get married because that was how we had sex, right? We didn't have premarital sex. We didn't bounce around. Well, guys maybe did, with those loose women over there that would never make a good wife. They had that going on. But the good girls, the women that were built for wives and bearing children and families, that a guy could really get on board with long term, they were a virgin coming into the situation, and the way he could only have sex with her was to marry her, right? So that can be a whole nother topic another day, but that was the reality of it. And what women used to tell their daughters was, okay, this is going to happen. This is how you consummate the marriage. This is what's going to happen. It's going to hurt, and you're probably not going to want it very much, and it's not going to feel good. So just, act like this and think about anything else, and it'll pass quickly. It'll pass quickly. And anytime that comes up, just, you do this here, and you need to have babies, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to keep him happy. And just think about anything. Think about anything, and it'll be over soon enough. Now, in today's world, a lot of women would say, well, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's this, that's that. And guys go, I don't want that from the woman that I love. I want to see her authentic pleasure. My pleasure comes from her pleasure. And that's a beautiful concept, and I believe that a lot of men have always wanted that. The problem is that this program is still there. And communication is a major issue in relationships. And women are scared of their sex, their sexuality. They're scared of the shame that it brings upon them. And even though there's all this stuff like de-shaming our sex and freedom of women's rights and empowerment and all this stuff, this talk, there's great rage and anger underneath it. And that is because we have suppressed ourselves as women, and we're not feeling safe still to communicate our yes and our no, our desires and our wants, without it coming out in this damnation form of rage towards the masculine. Hence a lot of issues that we have going on right now today. Wow, but we're not having a political discussion. You might see where I fall on it though, just with that statement, right? And so, back to the why. Why do women have sex that they don't want? There you go. Shame, guilt, fear of abandonment, fear of losing their partner, fear of making him mad, fear of that if I don't say yes, I'm going to end up being raped by my partner. Unfortunately, not realizing that every time we say yes to the sex that we don't want, that we're raping ourselves. Because even though you might say yes out of here, and you might willingly go into it, emotionally, psychologically, and physically, what happens to the body is that you still process it as though it's just not as traumatizing, right? But it is still traumatizing. Now the trash is coming. Hold on, we're walking inside. Going inside. Save us, yeah? I should have known better. It's trashed. Okay. If a woman tells you that she's always wanted it, she's lying. If a woman said, that's not me, I've never had that, I only have the sex that I want, I always communicate what I want, I've always had an orgasm. Lie, lie, lie. Why? Why do we lie about that stuff? All the same reasons. Same reasons. We don't want to, upset the apple cart, you could say. We are fearful of abandonment. We are fearful of confrontation. The feminine is less confrontational than the masculine by nature. Nurturers, warriors. Now, the feminine of today, highly confrontational. Rage of hundreds, thousands potentially of years, right? Around the wounded feminine. Yet this program is still running, this belief structure of I need to say yes, even though I don't want it. I don't know how to communicate my needs, my desires, my yes, my no. I'm too tired. I'm sick. Intimacy share, because that's what this series is, right? There have been plenty of times in my committed relationships of the past where I ended up having sex when I was sick as a dog, like sore throat. I remember this one time I ended up giving my partner oral because he really needed it, right? Because you know why? It wasn't he really needed it. No, I did not want to get stonewalled. I did not want to be punished because I knew that would be the response if I didn't say yes to this. Although I had strep throat. I remember my throat feeling like glass shards in it. So sore and feeling just horrible, a fever, all this kind of stuff. And I was definitely a no. And I vocalized it. I was like, I don't feel good. And he's like, oh, come on, babe. Come on. Can you just do this for me? It's been a really stressful day, blah, blah, blah. And I knew that if I said no, what the result would be. So guess what? He didn't hear me. And I went, for the greatest peace in the relationship and for home and for family and to keep that confrontation level down, I made peace and I gave him what he wanted. That's a minor thing. And it happens a lot in relationship. A lot. I could tell you some horror stories, but I'm not going to talk about those. A woman says yes when she's not into it because of fear, because of confrontation, because she doesn't want to hurt her partner's feelings, because she's afraid of the repercussion, because she's afraid of the abandonment, the confrontation of it. She doesn't know how to say no. And she starts to question herself, because all she wants is for her partner to desire her, to be there for her to feel safe. Yet these acts of saying yes make us feel extremely unsafe, because what we want is our partner to recognize that we are no. We want our partner to recognize that we're not in the mood. We're tired. We're exhausted. We are sick. It's not a turn on to us. That it's really like that it's just really not there. That's what we're wanting. And we're wanting our partner to man up and say, it's okay. And not stonewall us, not reprimand us in some way for our lack of interest in the moment. So I encourage all you gentlemen, as I see some gentlemen's names popping on here, I encourage all you gentlemen to really stand witness in your intimate relationships and realize that women have a tough time with vocalization, okay? We have not been told that it's safe to vocalize, okay? And a lot of women today are trying to figure out how to stand in who they are. And it's coming out in not healthy ways, as is the case of evolution. There has to be a revolution, right? And it is an internal revolution that comes out. And it's kind of scary grounds out there. But I can tell you that from my perspective, what men need to do is stand witness and get consciously aware in their relationships. Freaking inquire with the woman in your life. Ask her about things. And don't accept this, I'm okay, I'm fine, that's fine. Pay attention. Learn her physical cues. Okay? Don't just take the yes that she gives you, or if she doesn't vocalize and just is like, okay, fine, and starts to move into some physical act with you, that's her saying yes. That's, chances are, probably 70% of the time, if not more, in the majority of relationships out there, where people have just been accepting this average and ordinary communication and sexual dysfunction as good, where she is actually just providing a service to you. And I hope that disgusts you. I really do. I hope that it disgusts the majority of men, that they've been accepting that from the woman that they love, that they cherish, that they want to keep safe, that they actually do desire. I hope it disgusts you to realize that she's just servicing you, and she's raping herself often. Because, like I said on the front side of this, we all say we want the honest truth, but the brutal honest truth typically we don't want, because it really bangs our egos around. Well, here's the brutal honest truth in relationship around sexuality. Women say yes for the reasons that stated, and a million others. We will take upon our physical bodies, our emotional bodies, our spiritual, our mental, all the things and more. We will damage ourselves to keep the peace, to try to create stability, to have hope that somewhere along the line, our guy will show us that he sees the truth and that he will honor us by not pushing, not asking when we're really not into it, and learning us. So many guys don't learn their women. So many men don't learn their women. And, good sex is not about your skill set in the bedroom. It's not about toys and fantasies and how fast or how big or the more thrusting in the positions. Not for a woman. No. For a woman, it's about the connection. It's about the heart. It's about the emotional bond. It's about the overall touch. It's about the foreplay that should be happening 24/7 in between those sexual intimate moments. That's what it's about. That's where the good sex is. That's the sex that she's wanting with you. That's the sex that she is a yes to. That's the sex that will take her up and over every single time. And that's the sex that maybe sadly for some out there requires more work than what you're willing to give. So there you go. Tomorrow I think the topic is why I went poly. So I hope that today, if I said something that touched you, that made you go, what? Is that true? Well, it is true. It's true from my perspective. It's true from hundreds of women's perspective that I've worked with. It's probably true. You could probably find books on this stuff, workshops on this stuff, seminars on it. I know I've taught some of those. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it is hopefully the horrifying, disgusting, brutal truth that you needed to hear today around sex and why women say yes when they should be a no, and why they can't often, and why women are so mad today. So what can you do? Wake up. Don't get woke on me though, but wake up. Be conscious, be present, and inquire. Pay attention, learn your partner, learn yourself. If you say that she's a priority, if you say that the relationship is a priority, actions must show that that is true. Okay, as always, know that you are worthy of a beautiful relationship, beautiful and dynamic. That soul connection, it requires your growth. It requires your attention. It requires effort. It's not going to just pop into your lap effortlessly. Well, maybe it will. But in order for you to keep it, it will require effort and work and attention and love and compassion. Inquiry. But you are worth it. You are worthy of it. Know that. If you're looking for help as to how to, what are the conversations, what are those difficult conversations to have with my partner? What are the things that I need to work on in myself? Well, that's what people like me are out here for. Reach out to me. I have some beautiful fall specials coming on, some really, really deep discounted, beautiful events coming on as well. So just explore those. You can go to www.kendalwilliams.com for all current events for October, November, December, and January is out there. Some exciting stuff. And if you're looking for that one-on-one connection where you can really deep dive into these topics and healing the relationship that you're in, or calling in that soulmate relationship, well then, message me somehow, some way. I'm here for you. I love you guys. As always, stop existing, start living, and stop accepting average and ordinary in all areas of your life, but especially this one. All right, love you guys. Catch you tomorrow.